I'm going to show you something now that you can really have a lot of fun with your classes using and get some good information too. It's something called polleverywhere.com. And what it does, it allows you to give poll your students and get instant feedback. You can have your polls put into PowerPoint presentations and ask them at some time and get the immediate feedback. I think one of the times it's good to use is if you're reviewing for a test. You can ask some questions and you can just get feedback from the students. They can either use their laptop if they have that and are connected to the internet, or the easiest way I think is if you have a phone that you can text with, you can do that. So let's check this out and see how it works. The first thing you want to do is create an account. I already have one created. So I'm going to log in. It's pretty easy to create an account. When you do that, you can see it will bring up polls that you have. Now, I'm only using the free portion of this. I can do more things. I can create reports and get some other things if I wanted to pay a fee. But hey, the idea with open source and Web 2.0 is to get as much free as you can, and that's what we're going to do here. You can see I already have a couple questions created on what continent is the South Pole if I open it up. What I've done here is make a multiple choice question, and it'll take a second to load and then you'll be able to read it. You can create multiple choice questions, or you can just have open-ended ones where the students have to answer in a particular with something individualized. But anyway, on this one, on what continent is the South Pole? And the students can either text this code, this number, with one of these answers, or they can go to this website and text the code, and for their answer, either one of those numbers would be their code. And as they do it, this is a live poll, so as they do it, we immediately get to see the results. I could do it right now and you could start seeing the results, but what I want to do is put a few questions together and insert them into a PowerPoint presentation so you can see how that works. So I'm going to go back to my polls. I have another one here, should we cancel class tomorrow? And if I open that up, you can see that it just says yes or no. And if you notice the little thing that popped up there, it said with this free portion, or the free Poll Everywhere that you get, you can only submit 40 answers. So keep that in mind when you're thinking of your audience. Make sure that you're going to have 40 or less people answering, because it's only going to work for the first 40 and it won't accept any more answers after that. But here's our next question. Should we cancel class tomorrow? And you would text this number for yes, this number for no. I'm going to again go back to my polls. And I'm going to create a new question or a new poll. Each question they call a poll. So I'm going to go up and create a poll. In this one, I'm going to have it be just a blank answer. I'm going to put, what is your name? And here you can see you can leave it open-ended so they can respond with anything, or multiple choice. Well, this I'm going to leave open-ended right there. Now I can do add another poll, or I can create this one. I'm just going to do create. You can see in a minute it's going to pop that poll up here for us to look at. There you go. What is your name? And again, when we do this, it will just immediately, as it receives the responses, post them up here on the screen. Now I'm going to go back to my polls again. And I am going to create another poll. And this one I'll make a multiple choice question. I will put in here, let's see, What about which is your favorite pet? And then I will give some options. I'm going to click multiple choice. And true and false come in by default, but all you have to do is select them and type right over them. And I'll put dog. Go down into the next one, cat. Now I can go down, add an answer. And I could, if I wanted to, if I had pictures, I could actually, instead of inserting the text, I could click and bring in a picture of each of these animals if I wanted to. But I am just going to put the answers in. How about monkey? And notice there I didn't go down and click add an answer. I hit tab. And you can do tab and it will extend it again. And so you don't have to take your hands off the keyboard, and just save you a second or two in that. How about snake? I'll press tab again. And then finally I'll have other for the last one. And there's my poll or my question. Now I will go down and add one more. And we can put in this, are you glad this class is almost over? And again, I'll make this multiple choice. And I'll come down to true, and I'm just going to change that to yes, tab, and make the next one no. Delete the text there. Now I have these two questions created, so I'm going to go to create. And it brought them right back into my polls, and here you can see those 5 questions that I have created. You can see the one here, what is your name, is the one that's the open-ended question. The next thing I want to do is group these all together. So I'm going to click each one of them, and I'm going to do group. And notice it's come down now into a new group, and that way I can insert them all into a PowerPoint presentation at the same time. I'm going to edit my group, and I'm going to call it practice poll. And save it. All right. So now we've created our poll. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to take it into a PowerPoint presentation and see your results. Give me a minute.